Hey crypto enthusiasts, welcome back to CoinVantage. Today we're delving into the world of Bitcoin and ETFs. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's explore the impact of ETFs on Bitcoin, market dynamics, and future price scenarios. Share your thoughts in the comments below and let's dive in. In this video, I'm going to tell you the truth about Bitcoin ETFs. There's a lot to fear and uncertainty and doubt going around. Many people have numerous concerns about GBTC shares. Are the ETFs going to be good for Bitcoin? I'm going to show you the facts, I'll present the data, and I'll tell you my opinion. So let's get into what I think is happening in the Bitcoin market and what I expect. Spoiler alert, it's very bullish, so let's get into it. So it's pretty simple. The whole market works on two forces, supply and demand. The biggest contributor to supply is the Bitcoin network is the miners. Currently, they produce about 900 Bitcoin a day. But what about the ETF? So this is a chart of all the Bitcoin ETFs. These are spot ETFs. The top bar represents each of the individual ETFs, and the sidebar represents each day of the operation of said ETF. On the far right-hand side here, you can see that this is the total amount of capital inflows into the ETFs. For example, on February 12, there was $493 million that went into this ETF. What that means is there's $493 million worth of buy pressure going into the Bitcoin market. This is unprecedented. We have not seen this sort of consistency of inflows, at least not trackable and auditable like we now have with the ETFs. And it's very bullish because it's consuming way more than the miners can produce. So if we just hop on over to CoinGecko here, we can go down and scroll and input the amount in US dollars. So in February 12, there was $493.4 million US dollars that went into Bitcoin. That is the buy pressure of 10,100 Bitcoin. I'm going to remind you that the daily issuance from the miners is 900. What that approximately equates to is just over 10 times the amount of Bitcoin that's being produced every single day and is being consumed by the ETF. The interesting thing is, when the liquidity dries up in the OTC market, they're going to have to go to the public market. This is the first time we've ever gone into a Bitcoin halving where the available supply on exchanges has been in decline. The interesting thing about the next level is that it acts as the highest point ever recorded. That confuses me. After each halving, Bitcoin's price has surpassed all previous highs in each previous cycle. In the first cycle, it reached a new high after the halving and then surged into the next halving, breaking the previous record. Similarly, it rebounded after the halving and then exceeded its previous record high in the subsequent halving. While nothing is confirmed yet, considering the current fundamental situation and the market's capacity limited to 900 Bitcoin at a time, it would be surprising to witness Bitcoin hitting an all-time high before it halves. After the halving, the daily supply will be halved to 450 Bitcoin, while the ETF effortlessly consumes 10,000. By then, the ETF will have exhausted the network supply of newly minted Bitcoin 20 times over. And the most interesting part is that nobody is even discussing Bitcoin anymore. The masses aren't aware, and the excitement hasn't even started. While Bitcoin remains quiet, all of this is happening. So if we're currently using 10,000 Bitcoin daily, think about how much more we'll be using during a mania, and how will you determine its value? So you're probably wondering if we can actually predict the future price of Bitcoin. Well, I've got two scenarios to share with you, my bearish and bullish outlooks. The bearish scenario is based on the price movements from the last cycle. It's important to note that the available supply at the beginning of the last cycle was 17.65%, starting at 2.3% in this cycle. It's currently at its lowest. When we focus mainly on capital inflow, my conservative estimate puts the price of a Bitcoin at around $500,000. And let's not forget, FTX didn't even have any Bitcoin during the combining phase. The traditionalist viewpoint here is overlooking the accelerated decline in supply. Now, due to my confidence in the legitimacy of ETFs, my more optimistic and realistic estimate leans towards $1 million. They're really absorbing spot Bitcoin. The market is shifting away from valuing futures and derivatives, focusing more on spot Bitcoin. This is just the beginning of the supply shock caused by Oracle's BRC20 tokens and the entire emerging DeFi ecosystem on Bitcoin. Videos about this are starting to surface on this site, and things are about to get intense. Not many people are being assertive enough. This might be the first cycle where doubts about Bitcoin's true true value arise, and there might be a lot of fear of missing out as a result. Feel free to drop your opinions in the comment section. Do you think I'm overly optimistic or perhaps unrealistic? What are your thoughts on the likelihood of this strategy working? Do you have your own price targets in mind? Let's continue the conversation in the comment below and share your insights. That concludes today's video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and we will see you next time on CoinVantage.